This video did not actually exist until you directed your conscious attention toward it. It was simply a wave of probability floating in the digital ether, waiting for your specific frequency to collapse it into this exact moment of reality. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Today, we are going to dive deep into the ultimate secret of the quantum field and the observer effect. I promise you, by the end of this transmission, you will completely let go of the heavy burden of chasing your life purpose, and you will finally understand your absolute, untamed power as the prime creator of your reality. Tell me, have you ever felt completely exhausted by the endless search for your destiny, as if you are running a race with no finish line? To truly comprehend the magnitude of what you are about to remember, we must first step outside the boundaries of classical logic. In the esoteric understanding of the cosmos, the quantum field is not just empty space. It is a living, breathing matrix of infinite potential. It is an invisible web of energy that contains every possible version of your life existing simultaneously right now. However, these infinite lives exist only as waves of probability. They are dormant. They are waiting. In this grand metaphysical architecture, the act of observation is not passive. Looking at something is not just receiving light through your eyes. Observation is the most active, dynamic, and powerful force in the universe. It is the very mechanism that forces the chaotic waves of infinite potential to freeze into the solid, undeniable reality you experience every single day. Have you ever felt completely exhausted by the endless search for your life purpose? Society has conditioned your mind to believe that your purpose is a specific career, a specific relationship, or a certain amount of money in your bank account. But what if I told you that this is the ultimate illusion designed to keep your consciousness trapped in a low-frequency loop? You see, the more you desperately chase a physical outcome, the more you push it away. This happens because the act of chasing implies a state of lack. When you chase, you are declaring to the quantum field that you do not have what you desire. The field, which is entirely neutral, simply mirrors this state of lack back into your physical experience. Your true purpose has never been about doing, achieving, or acquiring. These are all just side quests in the grand game of the cosmos. Your one and only fundamental mission on this earthly plane is simply to be the conscious observer. You are the divine awareness looking through the lens of a human body. Once you fully internalize this monumental shift in perspective, the heavy burden of needing to figure everything out instantly dissolves. You are no longer the chaotic character frantically running through the maze. You become the serene awareness watching the game unfold from above. This is the moment your true power activates. Let us dive deeper into what this actually means for your daily existence. What is the observer effect, really? In the realm of quantum mechanics, scientists discovered a truth so profoundly mystical that it shattered the foundation of classical physics. They found that subatomic particles, the very building blocks of your physical world, do not exist in a solid, defined state until they are looked at. Before the act of observation, everything exists merely as a wave of infinite potential. It is a swirling sea of what could be, but nothing that actually is. But the exact fraction of a second a conscious observer looks at this wave, it collapses into a single, solid particle of reality. Think about the magnitude of this revelation. The universe literally requires your attention to take form. Without your consciousness, the room you are sitting in right now is just a vibrating soup of invisible energy. You are not just walking through a pre-existing world. You are actively painting the world into existence with every glance, every thought, and every expectation. When you realize that reality is bending to your gaze, you understand why chasing a specific life purpose is entirely backwards. You do not need to find your place in the world because the world is constantly reshaping itself to find its place around your state of being. You are the center point of all creation. Now you might be asking yourself, how do my thoughts actually collapse this reality? Think of the quantum field as a giant, infinite mirror. It does not judge what you show it, it only reflects it perfectly. Your thoughts act as the electrical charge that you send out into this infinite mirror. Every single time you hold a thought, whether it is a thought of brilliant success or a thought of deep fear, you are firing an electrical signal into the void. Most people live their entire lives on autopilot, broadcasting chaotic, random, and fear-based electrical signals into the field. They obsess over their debts, their insecurities, and their past failures. And because the quantum field is a flawless mirror, it collapses those chaotic signals into chaotic physical experiences. You end up manifesting the exact things you are trying to run away from. But when you step into your role as the conscious observer, you stop identifying with the random chatter of your mind. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the silent awareness that is listening to the thoughts. From this place of stillness, you can intentionally choose which electrical signals you want to broadcast. You become a deliberate architect of reality rather than a victim of circumstance. You simply observe the wave and command it to become the particle of your choosing. But thoughts alone are not enough to bend the fabric of space and time. We must talk about the role of your emotions in this grand observation. If your thoughts are the electrical signals sent into the quantum field, your emotions are the magnetic pull that draws the corresponding experience back into your physical life. This is the secret mechanics of the law of attraction. You cannot simply think about abundance while your body is vibrating with the emotion of desperation. The field does not respond to empty words, it responds to your state of being. Emotion is literally energy in motion. When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion like profound gratitude, deep love, or absolute certainty, you create an incredibly powerful electromagnetic signature. This signature acts like a tractor beam in the quantum realm. It reaches into the infinite waves of probability, locates the reality that matches your frequency, and pulls it violently into the present moment. This is why you must master the art of feeling the emotion of your desired future before it actually happens. You must teach your body chemically what that future feels like. When you do this, you are no longer chasing your purpose. You are magnetically drawing it to you by simply vibrating at its frequency. Perhaps you have noticed strange coincidences happening in your life lately. These are not random accidents. Synchronicity is the direct feedback loop of the quantum field. When you step back and simply become the conscious observer, you stop forcing things to happen. You stop trying to manipulate the physical world with physical effort, which is the slowest and most painful way to live. Instead, you change your internal frequency, and suddenly, the external world begins to organize itself in miraculous ways. You might experience a profound sense of déjà vu, feeling entirely certain that you have lived this exact moment before. From a quantum perspective, déjà vu is a sign that your consciousness has successfully aligned with a higher timeline. It is the universe confirming that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Or consider those random encounters with strangers who happen to have the exact piece of information you need. These people were literally pulled from the infinite field into your localized reality by your magnetic signature. When you stop chasing and start observing, synchronicity becomes your daily normal. The universe begins to drop breadcrumbs for you, guiding your path with effortless grace. You realize that every single event is a perfectly orchestrated reflection of your internal observation. Let us examine the great trap of identifying with your physical avatar. Right now, you possess a name, a body, a personal history, and a set of memories. This is your character in the game of life. The supreme illusion is believing that you are only this character. When you identify solely with the character, you become bound by the rules of the physical world. You feel small, vulnerable, and constantly stressed about survival. You carry the trauma of your past as if it is a heavy chain permanently attached to your ankles. But what if I told you that your past does not actually exist? In the quantum field, there is only the eternal now. Every time you vividly remember a traumatic event, you are actively bringing that past energy into the present moment, and you are instructing the quantum field to replicate it in your future. To break free from this cycle, you must shift your perspective from the character on the screen to the player holding the controller. The player is the conscious observer. The player knows that the game is an illusion meant to be experienced and enjoyed, not feared. When you detach from your avatar's dramatic storyline, you free up massive amounts of quantum energy. You can then use this freed up energy to collapse entirely new, miraculous timelines. One of the most difficult things for the human mind to do is to let go of the how. Your logical brain is obsessed with figuring out the exact steps required to reach a goal. If you want a new career, your mind immediately creates a stressful list of all the physical actions you must take. But in the quantum model of reality, trying to control the how is a massive interference. It limits the infinite universe to your very narrow, finite human understanding. The field operates through the path of least resistance, often orchestrating events in ways your logical mind could never possibly imagine. Your only job as the conscious observer is to define the what and the why. What is the reality you are choosing to observe, and why do you want to experience it? Once you hold that frequency with unwavering certainty, you must completely surrender the how to the quantum field. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is the ultimate act of trust. It is stepping out of the way so the universe can do its incredibly complex work. When you stop micromanaging the cosmos, you stop pinching off the flow of abundance. You simply hold the vision, remain in a state of elevated emotion, and watch with fascination as reality bends and twists to deliver your manifestation. This brings us to the profound power of neutral observation. We often label the events in our lives as either good or bad. If you lose your job, you immediately label it a disaster. If you find a $100 bill, you label it a miracle. But the quantum field itself is entirely neutral. It has no concept of good or bad. It simply responds to your focus. When you react to a situation with extreme negative emotion, you are hyper-focusing on the reality you do not want. You are essentially pouring supercharged quantum energy into the problem, making it denser and more difficult to shift. The master creator understands that resistance is futile. Whatever you resist persists. To dissolve an unwanted reality, you must remove your emotional charge from it. You must practice the art of neutral observation. When a challenge arises, do not immediately panic. Take a step back into your center of awareness. Look at the situation as if you are a scientist observing an experiment. Acknowledge it, but do not give it your emotional power. By withdrawing your emotional reaction, you starve the negative reality of its life force. Without your continuous observation, the wave of probability collapses back into the infinite field, and the problem literally dissolves on its own. Consider the profound impact of how you begin your day. Most people wake up and immediately remember all their problems. They check their phones, look at the news, and flood their nervous systems with stress chemicals before they even get out of bed. In doing so, they are actively observing the exact same reality they lived yesterday, guaranteeing that today will be a perfect replica of the past. If you want to change your life, you must change your observation at the most critical moment of the day, the moment of waking. Before you open your eyes, before you remember who you are and what your problems are, you exist in a pure quantum state. This is the moment to set your intentional observation for the day. Take 5 minutes to simply exist as the limitless field of awareness. Do not think about your to-do list. Instead, tune into the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. Feel the profound peace, the unshakable confidence, the absolute freedom of your highest timeline. By doing this, you are collapsing the wave of infinite potential into a masterpiece before your physical feet even touch the floor. You are literally commanding the universe to arrange circumstances, people, and events to match your morning frequency. Let us talk about the illusion of time. You have been taught that time is a straight line, moving from the past through the present and into the future. You believe that you must wait for things to happen. You think that success, healing, and deep love are somewhere far away in the future. This belief creates a massive separation between you and your desires. But in the quantum field, time does not exist in a linear fashion. All possible realities, all pasts, and all futures are happening simultaneously right now in the eternal present moment. There is a version of you who is completely healthy, incredibly wealthy, and deeply fulfilled, existing right now in a parallel frequency. You do not have to create this version of yourself, you simply have to tune into it. Think of it like a radio dial. All the stations are broadcasting at the same time, but you only hear the one you are tuned into. When you change your internal frequency through the power of conscious observation and elevated emotion, you do not have to wait for the future. You literally shift your consciousness onto a different timeline in the present moment. The delay you experience is simply the time it takes for your physical body and mind to completely convince themselves that the new reality is already here. This is why the concept of chasing a purpose is profoundly flawed. The very word chase implies that the object of your desire is running away from you. It implies distance, struggle, and time. When you are chasing, you are broadcasting a loud, undeniable signal to the universe that says, "I do not have this yet." And the universe, as the perfect mirror, reflects back a reality where you continue to not have it. The secret is to stop all the running. Stop searching outside of yourself for the answers. Stop looking for a career or a relationship to give you a sense of identity. Instead, collapse all your energy back into the present moment. Anchor yourself firmly in the now. Realize that your only true job is to manage your state of being. When you embody the frequency of joy, peace, and abundance right here and right now, for no external reason other than it is your true nature, you become a massive magnetic center. The things you used to chase will suddenly turn around and start chasing you. Opportunities will seek you out. The right people will gravitate towards your light. This is the effortless nature of reality creation. Many people fall into the trap of spiritual bypass. They think that being the conscious observer means pretending that negative things do not exist. They force fake positivity and suppress their true feelings. This is a dangerous misunderstanding of quantum mechanics. Suppressed emotion is dense, trapped energy in your physical body, and the field reads that hidden energy perfectly. The observer effect is not about ignoring your pain, it is about shining the brilliant light of your awareness directly onto the pain without judging it. When you feel a heavy emotion like sadness or anger, do not run from it. Sit with it, observe it, watch the physical sensations in your body. Notice the thoughts associated with it, but do not claim it as your identity. Say to yourself, "I am observing the energy of anger moving through my field," rather than saying, "I am angry." This slight shift in language is incredibly powerful. It separates the eternal you from the temporary experience. When you observe your shadows with unconditional love and neutrality, the trapped energy finally completes its cycle and releases. This profound inner alchemy clears the static from your field, allowing your true magnetic power to shine through unhindered. Consider the phenomenon of a sudden, brilliant idea or a profound epiphany. Have you ever been taking a shower or walking in nature, not thinking about anything in particular, when suddenly a massive realization drops into your mind? Where do these insights come from? They do not come from your analytical brain. Your brain is simply a processing center for known information. True genius, true inspiration comes directly from the quantum field. When you are deeply relaxed and your brain waves slow down into the alpha or theta state, the door between your conscious mind and the infinite field opens wide. Because you are not actively trying to force a solution, you drop your resistance. In that moment of pure being, a high-frequency wave of probability collapses right into your mind as an instantaneous download of information. This is why the hardest working people are rarely the most innovative. Innovation requires space. It requires you to occasionally step away from the chaotic human side quests and return to your natural state as the silent, receptive observer. The universe speaks to you not in loud shouts, but in the quiet whispers of intuition that can only be heard when the mind is perfectly still. Let us shift our focus to the physical objects in your life, such as money. Money is entirely misunderstood by the masses. People view money as a solid, scarce resource that must be traded for physical labor. They hoard it out of fear, or they resent it because they believe it is the root of all evil. But money is not solid. Like everything else in the quantum field, money is simply a frequency of energy. It is a symbol of value and exchange. When you observe money through the lens of fear and lack, you freeze that energy into a state of limitation. You literally collapse poverty into your timeline. But when you shift your observation and begin to view money as a natural extension of your own infinite abundance, the dynamic completely changes. You stop chasing a paycheck and start expanding your capacity to receive. You realize that wealth is not something you go out and get. It is a state of consciousness that you tune into. As the conscious observer, you bless the money you spend, knowing it will circulate and return to you multiplied. You remove the emotional desperation from the concept of wealth, and suddenly the universe opens completely unexpected channels for financial energy to flow directly into your experience. Think about the relationships in your life. How often do you project your past disappointments onto new people? When you enter a new dynamic expecting betrayal or abandonment, you are actively instructing the quantum field to manifest those exact behaviors in the other person. You are observing them through a distorted, fearful lens, and therefore you collapse their wave of potential into the very version of themselves that will hurt you. The observer effect dictates that you will always find what you are deeply expecting to find. To transform your relationships, you must clean your lens of perception. Stop observing the flaws and the past mistakes of others. Instead, use your powerful conscious awareness to focus solely on their highest potential. See them as divine beings, just as you are. When you consistently hold the frequency of unconditional love and high expectation, you literally pull a different version of that person out of the quantum field. People will dramatically shift their behavior around you because your energetic observation leaves them no other choice. You become a healing presence simply by the way you choose to look at the world. The ultimate realization of this quantum journey is understanding the illusion of separation. You look down at your hands, you look around your room, and you feel that you are a localized point of consciousness, separate from the objects and people around you. But quantum physics tells us that at the subatomic level, everything is deeply entangled. There is no empty space. The space between you and the stars is completely full of vibrating energy. You are connected to every single atom in the universe. Therefore, the reality you are observing is not outside of you. It is an intricate extension of you. The universe is not happening to you. The universe is happening through you. When you fully embrace this truth, the fear of the unknown vanishes. How can you fear the future when you know that you are the one writing the script in real time? How can you feel alone when you realize that every person you meet is simply another aspect of the divine consciousness, playing a different character in your grand simulation? You are the ocean expressing itself as a single drop. When you remember this, the desperate need for a specific life purpose fades away, replaced by the profound joy of simply existing as the creator. Let us explore the daily practice of maintaining this high-frequency state. Your environment is constantly trying to pull you back into the low-frequency matrix of fear, doubt, and survival. The news, social media, and the chaotic energy of the collective consciousness act as a gravitational pull, trying to force you back into the sleep state of the reactive character. To stay awake as the conscious observer, you must become fiercely protective of your attention. Your attention is your most valuable currency. It is the very tool you use to collapse reality. Stop freely giving your attention to drama, gossip, and fear-mongering narratives. When you watch a terrifying news story and feel panic, you are literally feeding your quantum energy into that timeline, helping to make it more real. Retract your energy. Become highly intentional about what you allow into your mind. Feed your consciousness with beauty, profound knowledge, and high vibrational art. Spend time in silence. By consciously directing your focus, you build a powerful energetic shield around your aura. You become an immovable pillar of light, completely unaffected by the chaotic storms of the lower dimensions. It is crucial to understand that stepping into your power as the observer does not mean you will never face challenges again. Contrast is a fundamental necessity of physical existence. If you never experienced the dark, you would never be able to appreciate or even define the light. When a difficult situation arises on your path, it is not a punishment from a judgmental God, nor is it a sign that you have failed at manifesting. It is simply a burst of contrast provided by the quantum field to help you refine your desires. When you experience what you do not want, a massive rocket of desire for what you do want is instantly launched from your core into the universe. The Master Creator greets challenges with a smile. They know that the obstacle is actually the stepping stone to the next level of expansion. Do not let temporary physical circumstances lower your internal frequency. Look at the challenge, acknowledge its purpose, and immediately pivot your focus toward the solution. Use the contrast to sharpen your vision. Remember, the reality you are standing in right now is simply the delayed manifestation of your past thoughts. Do not let present circumstances dictate your future observation. We must also address the physical body, the magnificent biological vessel that houses your divine awareness. Your body is not a machine, it is a highly sensitive quantum antenna. It is constantly decoding energetic frequencies from the field and translating them into chemical sensations. When you are disconnected from your body, living entirely in your anxious mind, you lose your grounding in the physical realm. To truly master the observer effect, you must bring your conscious awareness deep into your physical form. Practice somatic presence. Feel the life force energy pulsing through your veins. Your body has an innate intelligence that is far superior to your logical brain. It will always tell you when you are out of alignment. If you feel tightness in your chest or a sinking feeling in your stomach, your body is warning you that you are collapsing a negative timeline. Do not ignore these signals. Use your breath to move the trapped energy out of your cells. When your body is relaxed, open, and vibrating with vitality, it becomes a massive electromagnet, easily drawing your highest desires out of the quantum ether and into physical manifestation. As we reach the culmination of this profound transmission, I want you to take a deep breath and feel the truth of these words resonating in your soul. You have never been broken. You have never been lost. You have simply been playing the game of life with a blindfold on, believing the illusion that you are small and insignificant. It is time to take the blindfold off. Stop chasing a predefined purpose. Your career, your bank account, your relationships, these are all perfectly wonderful side quests to enjoy, but they are not the reason you are here. You are here to anchor the light of divine consciousness into the dense physical realm. You are here to be the awake, aware, and intentional observer. Every time you choose love over fear, peace over chaos, and absolute trust over desperate control, you elevate the frequency of the entire planet. You are the universe waking up and looking back at itself in sheer wonder. Let go of the struggle. Drop the heavy armor of the character you have been playing. Step into the infinite freedom of the player. The quantum field is yours to command. You are the master architect of your reality. But what if I tell you the most profound truth of all? You are not just existing inside reality, you are reality itself, observing its own infinite reflection. The entire cosmos is contained within your awareness. Let us summarize this monumental shift. The endless chase for a life purpose is a trap of the ego. Your one and only mission is to master the observer effect. Through your intentional thoughts and elevated emotions, you collapse the chaotic waves of probability into the beautiful physical experience you desire. Everything else is simply a side quest for your enjoyment. Thank you for answering the call and receiving this frequency today. If this message unlocked a new level of awareness within you, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support this energetic exchange. To permanently anchor this new reality into your physical timeline, write this exact activation phrase in the comments below. I am the observer creating my reality. I want to hear from you. What specific signs or strange synchronicities have you been noticing in your life recently since your awakening began? Share your experiences in the comments and let us build a community of conscious creators. Until next time, remain in the light of your own profound awareness.